I used this album as a form of therapy, I guess, to get through kind of a bit of a shit time in my life. And yeah, I just loved writing it, and it made me feel better. And by the end of it, my life had sort of turned around, and I was happy again. And I was like, like when you're in that like really bad period of time, I feel like you think it's going to be like that forever, and it never is. So I just thought it was like a really reassuring message.
Well, of course, now looking back, the hindsight, the luxury of the hindsight being 2020, you can see that this album helped you get out of that period, and these songs you started writing became this album. But at the start, what was this? Just poetry? Was just songwriting that was helping you get through that time period?
Yeah, I absolutely love lyrics. So I had basically been dropped by a label and had no idea what I was going to do in my life, and just felt confused and lost. I think which a lot of people do feel in their early 20s, or later in life. And yeah, I felt quite low. So I knew that I loved creating things and writing songs, and I became a songwriter for other artists, which I love doing. So a lot of the songs on here, a lot of the singles I'd sort of written with other people in mind. And yeah, I love writing the lyrics.
What do you love about songwriting for other people? Is it almost like acting?
Yeah, like I'm a terrible actress. I once auditioned for something and everyone was like, no, don't do that. So I stopped that. But yeah, it's quite hard to be an artist and like know who you are and what you want to say. And I think to go into a room and be like, I'm going to be a country artist today, that's really fun. And like I can pretend to be someone else. And I love that. I love sort of being a bit of a chameleon. And I think that's why there's quite a few different genres like all mixed in on the album, because I got to experiment.
Are you like that in your everyday life? You like to keep it, you like variety, different activities, different hobbies, just spice things up? Yeah,
so I've had like every hair color under the sun. Every month I'm like, I need to change. There's like this quote online that says, when a woman changes her hair, she's about to change her life. But I literally change my hair every month, so my life just keeps changing.
The seasons and the hair will change. That is
of course.
You have this love of lyrics, and if I have the story right, listening to Alanis Morissette actually changed the way you thought about lyrics. How so?
Yeah, massively. I grew up in a little village with parents that are lovely but not very musical. So I listened to a lot of mainstream chart music, a lot of American pop, Swedish pop, which at the time of growing up was like early noughties, like kind of like, you know, those pop bangers that didn't really have much depth to them, but they were a banger. And then as I got older, I started like listening to, you know, more like deeper music. And I discovered Alanis Morissette, and I was like, oh my God, this is so raw and real, and I'd never heard music like it. And the way that she writes her lyrics, they're almost like a little bit inappropriate at times, and I love that. And I think that's genuinely how people feel, even if it's something that you don't want to admit, like we feel it. So
yeah. I heard you say that Jagged Little Pill, her debut album, is actually your favorite album.
Yes, that's like, that album for me is like pivotal to how I write songs, and her song You Ought to Know, like the emotion in that, I was like, oh. So that inspired my song The Best You Had.
Wow. Now, I don't know if you have a favorite track off Jagged Little Pill, but I think the irony of that record, I love that record too. My favorite song off it is actually the hidden track. Do you know about this?
No.
It's called Your House.
Okay. I don't think I've actually heard that.
Oh, it's amazing. Well,
I'm a fake fan, clearly.
The joke of it is, you know, the whole album is very autobiographical. You talk about how honest the record is and or her lyrics are, and then Your House is probably the only non-autobiographical song. It's about her breaking into her ex's house and like going through his things. And
love that.
But it's so raw, even if it's not about her, that it's great.
Okay, I like that. I'll need to check it out.